Live from Atlanta, it's me, your boy. I have not made a video in a while, and it's because every single day there's been like a major headline, and I have to get back and write, or talk, or think, and then get back to my life and stuff. There was a thing that I never really liked about the media, news media that I consume, where somebody famous or influential or powerful politically is being slammed by the media, slammed by their contemporaries. It's like when someone is just criticized or condemned for doing incredibly undoable things like hurting people or creating organizations that receive government funding that's they're not going to see any dissolution, or power grabs like occupying a US state or city. And it's like, at what point will people understand that condemnation of stuff like this isn't enough? Because if it's just words, they're not going to care, because words aren't going to change what's happening. And what's happening in the United States is a backslide into fascism. I do not want to mince words there. Think about the things that we've condemned from the powerful people in our country, things that are really hard to undo or deal with in the future. Congress, okay, think about a long time ago. Think about the Obama administration, when Obama was trying to nominate a Supreme Court justice, and Congress, led by Republicans, was just going to not have a vote. They were not going to do their jobs. Now, it's nowhere in the rules did it state they couldn't have a vote. The rules are, the president nominates a judge, Congress holds a vote on it. That's right? They could just decide to not do their jobs while also collecting our tax money as their salaries that they've never decided to decrease or not increase, alongside the bribes and kickbacks and insider stock trading. They're just going to not have a vote, not do their jobs, right? Think about a consequence of that, and we condemn that, right? We condemn insider trading. We condemn them not doing their jobs. We condemn them only increasing their salaries when no one else's pay is going up, right? We condemn that. The repealing of fundamental constitutional protections, right? Later on, that same Supreme Court repealed Roe versus Wade. We condemn that, right? That's something that's very condemnable. The president, on January 6th, 1 year in history, decided to hold a rally or a riot when a bunch of right-wingers paid a ton of money to bust people from all over the country, and that ended up being a coup, a failed coup, but a coup where people died. And we know the guy who did it, and we know the people implicated in it, whose money went into it, who supported it, and the people who still to this day deny the fact that the current president of the United States, Donald Trump, lost his second election, his second election bid for the presidency. There are still people who deny that he lost, right? We condemn that. That's a condemnable thing, right? We can condemn that. The most reviled sex trafficker in the world has connections with many powerful people in office, including the president of the United States, multiple presidents of the United States, some of the most powerful billionaires in the world, world leaders too. And he dies in prison through dubious means. They say he killed himself. We know he was assassinated, right? His girlfriend rotting in a prison cell, begging for a pardon because she made a plea deal, right? We condemn that. We condemn them protecting the president. We condemn them not releasing his business records, his partnerships, all the photo evidence of him taking pictures of people flying on his plane to this private island in the Virgin Islands, right? We condemn those people. We condemn that. We condemn involvement with the most reviled sex trafficker on the planet, right? There's an active genocide. There's many active genocides, as there always is, and I'm not going to demean any of the specific ones, but the major one I'm talking about is Israel's genocide of Palestinians, right? Shit ramped up on October 7th, and the United States government has not stopped giving Israel money, specifically when they have said we are going to use this money to kill as many of these people as possible. Now, we see them kill journalists, American journalists. We see them attack their nearby allies. We see them, bombing cities. There are children out here carrying their siblings, their parents, right? We condemn this. We condemn endorsement of this, right? People are being deported from this country for speaking out. There are police that are having domestic conflicts and training with IDF soldiers, training IDF style. And people it's more than condemnation. They're going out of their way to stand in their way. They're getting choke slammed. They're getting shot with rubber bullets, right? We condemn this. Immigration's customs, ICE, has been turned into a secret Gestapo police force, right? Not even months ago, they were getting tons of flack for their aggression towards expected specific groups of brown people, Hispanics in particular, because the rhetoric ramping up towards them has been about illegal immigration. It's not been about any other group but Hispanic people, even though there's plenty of, think about Elon Musk's immigration status. Think about what Donald Trump's preference in women has led him to do to get his wives to this country, right? But specifically, Hispanic people have been targeted by ICE. And that's at the point where they're raiding buildings. They are marching in the streets. The government has put these people against American citizens, increased their budget, and they can't act quickly enough to protect us from this rampantly uncontrollable police force that is specifically geared against people who live in this country, right? And the police won't protect us either. But we have to condemn this, right? We condemn that. We condemn not being safe in our own country due to a secret police. The military has occupied 3 cities: Portland, Oregon, Chicago, and Washington, D.C., at the behest of the president. That's not even to say what's going on with Pete Hegseth and his awkward, Nazi speeches. Just the president of the United States has chosen 3 cities that he knows won't like him: Portland, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. Just deploy the National Guard there and have them occupy. Have them intimidate people walking around with guns, doing what they do when they get under control. We condemn this. We condemn the president using the military to occupy 3 American cities. We condemn this, right? This same military is obeying commands to accelerate conflicts with Venezuela. They are just striking boats and killing people extrajudicially without any interrogation or captures to ask them what they're doing, inspect the boats for actually backing up the things that they say. They're saying they're drug boats. They're not saying they're trade boats. They're just bombing boats to going to Venezuela. That's just what they're doing. They're not producing any evidence. They're just killing people, right? We condemn this. We condemn the United States government and the United States military doing that, right? The US president on camera is openly racist, openly ableist, openly queerphobic. He only knows how to punch down. He floats running for an illegal 3rd term. He's widely known for trying to pardon some of the most worst felons in our country and cannot resist public acts of fealty to foreign dictators and autocrats. We condemn him for this, right? We condemn him for being an ugly, a cartoonishly stupid and ugly person on camera and on hot mic, right? We condemn that. Billions of dollars have evaporated from the American economy in the past couple of years, right? Needless attempts at trade wars under Trump have caused some of our biggest trade partners to fully pull out of parts of our economy. China's not buying our soybeans anymore. They quit cold turkey, and it cost the farmers that voted for Trump billions of dollars. There's just not money there, right? AI wasn't regulated, so all the labor that they're doing, all the art, the music, menial tasks that people thought was gonna we can't, automation, all that stuff, that's gone, right? They're not hiring people for that. Those billions of dollars, millions of people just doing less work or not working at all. The United States sends $20 billion from our economy to an economic competitor in Argentina. a major trade partner of ours, right? And then China just decides to trade with them instead and get their stuff from there. That's all this money coming from the American economy getting funneled up to the top. It's not necessarily like they're taking all that money and funneling. It's just gone like that, right? We condemn this. We condemn a mishandling of the economy. We condemn the geopolitical power vacuum that has been created when the President of the United States for a second term turns his back on the world and allows our geopolitical competitors to basically make the US like not a thing, right? A joke internationally. So most people, they're crying, all these things are distractions from like the Epstein files, right? This regime with every headline is gearing up for a war against its own citizenry with the secret police and the military. The corporations are consolidating, they're courting the state, and our closest allies are abandoning us. And all I have to ask is proving the President of the United States is a pedophile going to be enough? Will having that moral high ground solve anything? Or will it just create another problem he can buy himself out of? Like, we already know he's a pedophile. We've heard him talk. We already know he doesn't care about sexual assault. Look around and think you can do something about literally anything else. Feed your community's bodies and minds. Get fit and learn to swim and run and build.
Or as fit as you can. Pick the battles that you can, please. Don't hurt yourself.
Right? Learn first aid. Pick up a gun and a knife and a lighter. You can see the headlines. They've come from many people in America. And at some point, you're not going to be protected. Do you want to just stand there and do nothing? Because that's what condemnation is going to get us. We condemn the things they're doing. Is condemnation really going to be enough? That's enough for me. I just wanted to kick a couple thoughts. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.